Parents, if your child is struggling with sensory issues, you have to hear Logan's story. This was his struggle absolutely every day. When his family found us, they told us about his first few years of life. He was struggling with sensory overload. He couldn't regulate his body, emotions, or anything. In fact, his sensory challenges were so severe, his family and mom couldn't take him anywhere, couldn't take him to the grocery store because it was constant meltdowns, tantrums, and over the shoulder just to have to leave. Now, if your child struggles with similar sensory issues, you know firsthand how overwhelming and isolating it can be. But what if we told you there was hope? Now, in this video, we'll dive deep into what sensory overload really is and its underlying causes. And most importantly, how neurologically focused chiropractic can help. Now, this video is for you if you are a parent of a child with sensory processing disorder or sensory challenges. If you're looking for drug-free solutions, we want to look at how we can help you naturally. Now, we'll explain and walk through what sensory overload is and the various triggers and symptoms and the long-term effects of child development. Now, most importantly, let's dig into the root causes and how pediatric chiropractic can help with that balance of regulation. Here's the facts of it, and here's why we want to do this video, is sensory processing disorder, SPD, affects 1 in 6 children. That's over 16% of kids every day. They struggle with haircuts, clothing textures, crowded spaces, you name it. These challenges, they affect everything socially for our families, education, interactions. And while this is common, it's not normal because it's hard to navigate the complexities of it. And traditional medicine oftentimes just mutes the solution instead of really diving into the root cause. Now, sensory overload occurs when a child's senses become overwhelmed by the amount or intensity of the information that's coming in from their environment. So think about it from these triggers, loud noises, crowded spaces, emotional situations, drastic changes, unexpected touch, intense smells. It can even be holidays, events, sporting events, concerts, things that are loud like fireworks, carnivals, fairs, farmers markets. Gosh, I could go on. I've been there as a dad. And these can show up in symptoms such as, discomfort, crying, anxiety, irritability, even tummy aches or loss of focus. If they're really severe, oftentimes you can have developmental delays associated with them or miss milestones. Now, when we look at all these struggles, we really want to go back and look and say, okay, what is the root cause of sensory overload? Now, as a pediatric chiropractor, one of the key root causes we look at is birth trauma. It can be a huge cause because interventions such as epidurals, induction, C-section, vacuum, forceps deliveries, they all cause subluxation by injuring the brainstem and the spinal nerves, specifically within this neck region. Now, this is really a sensory modulator in this area. This usually leads to babies that are colicky, uncomfortable, struggle with eating, sleeping, pooping, and oftentimes kids don't grow out of these struggles. They grow into ADHD or sensory overload. And the root cause is draped in this subluxation or dysautonomia, affecting the central nervous system right up here at the base of the skull and the neck. Now, what we look for is how do we help this stress go from overwhelm to relaxation, and the vagus nerve is key. The vagus nerve within this stress is oftentimes very compromised. Now, when this is compromised, it can cause dysautonomia. Now, dysautonomia is simply the brain's way of working and talking to the body. If this is disrupted, it's impossible for the body to process and integrate sensory information effectively, and this is what leads to that overload. Now, in our office, we measure this sensory overload. We measure what comes in from the body, and then oftentimes you get noise in and noise out that comes in. But we measure this through insight scans. These pinpoint the areas where subluxation and stress are within the nervous system. Now, this often happens right up here in the upper neck, but can also happen all throughout the neurospinal system. So when we find where this stress is, our team can create that personalized care plan that's tailored right to what your nervous system needs to get you back on track. Because again, sensory info, when sensory gets overwhelmed and overwhelmed kiddos, it often is that we call it afferent, or the input that comes up into the brain. The brain looks at it as, hey, this is fight or flight information. This isn't good. This is very stressful. I need to mount a response. And oftentimes that response is more stress, noise in, noise out. So if your child struggles with sensory overload, know you're not alone and there is hope. We want to look at the root cause of this by really digging into where that is, and how we can help them calm their body naturally with a drug-free path to help them get them back on track. Now, if you're ready to take the first step, we've got some links below and some links in our bio, but the first step is truly that neurological insight scan. That's going to help our team find exactly where it is so that we can hear their story, we can tie it to where that subluxation is, and we can get them back on track with a calm neurosensory system. Here's what's so cool is Logan now on the other side of this, going through the care plan, his nervous system is really balanced. So he can go to the store. He can have life experience. He can go to birthday parties. He doesn't need the long times to reset and transition certain things because the input coming into his brain is calmer. And the news hasn't been better. Mom's told us that they can go to the store now, they can do more things, and Logan is a more happy kid going throughout life because his sensory processing system is calm. If you need help with this, we're here for you. Give us a call, shoot us a direct message. We would love to help in any way we can and really dive in to help your child. If they're struggling with sensory process disorder, we know that can be an issue that affects the whole family, and we want to dig in and help. So hope this finds you well. We're here to help, and we're here for you. Please reach out.